Well, I'm here with Brother Stephen Lucas, who celebrates a special day today. What's the special day that we celebrate today, Brother Stephen?
Well, I celebrate the day kind of all just during the month of September, and it's my anniversary of entering the order.
Wonderful. How many years ago?
It's 67 years since I went to Dubuque, Iowa as a postulant.
Very good. Do you remember what you were thinking when you entered the order? Do you remember how it was?
Yes, I wondered what would I be doing all day? And I'm a brother, and I knew that I would be doing much of the domestic work. We had 140 people in the house.
Wow.
At Dubuque, all theologians ready for ordination. And I worked in the kitchen much of the time, because the brothers cooked for the community. And I was working with Brother Edward Anderson, and the two of us got together very well, and prepared for food. I always liked to cook, and I know a lot about cooking, so we shared the time together.
Very good. And what did you spend most of your life doing as a Dominican?
Most of my life was helping people who were poor, and I love that myself. And when I went to my last assignment, which was Africa, Nigeria, I enjoyed every day because there were poor around. Many of them I knew, some of them had my name, and I knew their capabilities. I had a list of people looking for who would help us with jobs, so I could bring them over or give them a note to go over to receive something. If they weren't going to get a job, they sometimes just got enough money for their family. But then we'd get their address and visit them. And so many of the Nigerians help me help others. That's what I enjoy the most.
Wonderful, wonderful. I've heard the story of when you found out you were going to Nigeria, and I think it's a wonderful story. So can you tell that story?
Yeah, we had visitation in Dubuque, where I was stationed. I just arrived there, in fact, from Albuquerque when the provincial came for visitation, and my name was on his door to come in. And Father Marr, who was a wonderful guy, I went in and sat down, and he said he was asking different questions about St. Pius, and what I did, and how many people we had at St. Pius, and how many people we have there. What about the food? Who prepares all the food? I shared in preparing some of these, and then the bell rang, and he left, and I got up and went out. And I wanted to know if I was going back to Albuquerque. And so the brothers in the kitchen told me, go back, he's still there. It's only 11:45. And ask him if you're going back to Albuquerque. So I ran back upstairs, and I said to the Father, I knocked on the door, he said, come in. And I sat down quickly, and he said, is there a problem? I said, no, I just wanted to know if I was going back to Albuquerque. He said, Albuquerque? Are you from Albuquerque? And I said, yes. He said, what is your name? Well, we had 150 people in the house. He didn't know my name. And he said, you're Brother Stephen? And I said, yes. And I wondered why he expressed my name so unusual. And he said, you're going to Africa. I said, what? He said, what do you think about that? And I said, I'm ready to go anywhere. He said, I'm going to take you there myself. Brother Stephen, I'm taking you there. We're leaving in November. That was about 6 weeks. And he said, go and prepare.
Wow.
That's my story about how I got to Africa. I was there for 5 days. When I looked around and I said to myself, what am I going to do here? So all of a sudden, I remembered St. Jude, where I was at St. Pius. And I said to the people, have you ever heard of St. Jude? And he said, no. I brought along pamphlets from St. Pius with the prayer on. We went to the church, our big church, and all knelt down, and I gave them each a copy of the prayer. And we said the prayer to St. Jude. And after the prayer, when the people were still kneeling, about 8 of them were kneeling in the pew, I said, now we're going to start the shrine of St. Jude. And they all agreed. And when I told Father Dempsey, who was the superior, I said, look, I told the people that we had a shrine. I should have asked you first, but the thought just came to me. And I told the people that were with us, about 15. And Father Dempsey said, look, we have to ask the bishop, because we can't have a shrine unless we get permission from the bishop. He said, let's go this afternoon, and we'll go down to see him. So in the afternoon, he was in the office. I don't know if Father Dempsey called him or not, but he was, I had already met him the day we arrived. And he said, oh, Mother Stephen, yes. And it was, I felt good. Him remembering my name.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that, and Father Dempsey was with me, I told him I'd like to start a shrine to help the poor people and to help our vocations. He said, the bishop said, do you know my patron saint? And I said, no, I don't remember your patron saint. He's my patron saint is St. Jude.
Oh, wow.
You have all the permissions you need to do anything you want. And I said, thank you very much.
And how many years were you the director of the shrine in Africa?
I was director of the shrine for 57 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
This book I compiled was a breviary, and I compiled it because the church went from Latin to English,
Mm-hmm.
or French, or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a book that contains all the psalms and the other prayers. And it was approved by the Archbishop. And it was part of the St. Jude. All of my things were part of St. Jude.
Mm-hmm.
And it was used in seminaries.
Oh, wow.
And in other places. We sold hundreds of them.
Mm-hmm.
We had, 20 or 30 baptisms a week.
Wow.
And sometimes we had 50 or 100 on special occasions.
Wow.
So I wanted to have a book to give to the families, or to have the families purchase from our book center. And we sold thousands of these. It's my first baby book, but it's all geared to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all things about a baby that are all...
Oh, yeah, so you can fill it in, my first picture, and
Yeah.
a weight chart.
That's right. And then I got a sister in England to make the pictures for us.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, so we sold thousands of these books.
Oh, I bet.
They were wonderful, and the people appreciated them so much because the book didn't cost that much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What a beautiful little project.
Yeah, it was a nice project.
With so many baptized over the years, I'm sure that it was much appreciated.
Yeah. One day when I drove down to the ocean and took a canoe. It's not a canoe like we have, it's a dugout canoe.
Mm-hmm.
By myself across the water, and we entered an island called Takwa Bay. It was a place a lot of people went to swim, but there were no real houses on there, just made of clay and whatnot. And I said, gee, this would be a wonderful place for us to come down and spend a day or two. So I built a church there, which had, we could fit in about 50 people. And then I built a house for our fathers and brothers and named it Dominican. And we had retreats there and so many different affairs. It was wonderful. The people there came to church. We had a good number of baptisms, catechism class for all the kids. The Archbishop had never been there. And we had a big celebration one day when he got into a canoe in Lagos and came over, which took a half an hour. We came over to the island. And there was one expatriate there that knew he was coming, and he got a tractor. I don't know where he got a tractor, but they were huge. And both of us had a tractor, and we had a procession from the dock to our convent. And it was the first time that the Archbishop had been to Tonga.
Wow.
And after that, he came several times, and we had confirmation there, where nobody was confirmed. It was just a wonderful celebration for the people. How thankful we are for all the things.
What a neat experience. It's when we read about missionary activity, we sort of, the first wave of missionary activity in bringing the gospel to a new land, you don't see as much of that anymore as the world becomes evangelized. But to have had these experiences is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Well, Brother Stephen, happy anniversary to you.
Thank you.
And God bless you, and thank you for your many years of ministry in Dominican life.
Thank you. I certainly enjoyed it. And I rolled these thoughts over in my mind so many times, wondering if I did the right thing, and thanking God for giving me a beautiful place to stay in my old age, even though I don't like to say old age, in my age. So thank you very much.
God bless you, brother.